Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Mitch. Good Monday morning to you all. It is Monday. I know a lot of you folks are thinking, oh, here we go again. But regardless, I hope you guys have a positive attitude out there this morning and doing well and having a great start to your work week. So we're here to talk about what's going to happen weather-wise for today. Towards the end of the video, we'll give you another sneak peek on what's going on with this storm system with multiple pieces of energy that will ride across this boundary that will set up across the northern portion of the lower 48. So we'll give you some, decent information going out probably to about Thursday on kind of the latest information as far as ice totals, snowfall accumulation, things like that. And then, of course, we'll do it again tonight. We'll get detailed for you folks up there. The good news in all this is the severe weather threat has went down. It's kind of like what happened last week. Well, it ended up being an enhanced risk, but it didn't end up, verifying really well at all, which was totally a good thing. But, they put a 15% risk out, at day 5 or 6, I believe, with this coming up. And now we're in day 3, and it's only a marginal risk. So they downgraded it. This could uptrend back up. I wouldn't be surprised if it does. But as of now, confidence has decreased that we're going to have any sort of big severe weather event out of this. So that is the good news. And we'll talk a little bit on that here in a second. And we'll get more detailed on why it did tonight. So stay tuned for that. But if you folks have not subscribed, always consider doing that. Really close to that 40K mark, which will be a big milestone for me and my channel. And I really appreciate you guys helping me get there. And if you guys got anything that I can pray about or pray over, you guys know the deal. Please put it in the comments below. Gives me an opportunity to pray over it, and it gives others an opportunity to do so too. Not sure if y'all heard that, but my stomach is growling like crazy this morning. But anyways, watches, warnings, advisories out here. As we mentioned about 24 hours ago, waking up to just a bunch of colors out here. You got a lot of high wind warnings, high wind watches, winter storm watches. You even got blizzard warnings for southern counties of Wyoming. I would not be surprised if by the time some of you folks watch this, winter storm warnings get expanded further east. They definitely inevitably will. But do we end up getting any kind of blizzard warnings? It's a big question here. You see these winter weather advisories up here. This is mainly due to this clipper that's already moving through portions of the country up here, like in North Dakota, northern Minnesota. Winter storm warnings up for the far northeast Lake Superior bordering counties in Minnesota up here with some lake enhancement snow. Will give you guys maybe over 6 inches of snow with just this little clipper. Winter weather advisories up for the UP of Michigan. This will deliver several inches of snow just from the clipper today, and this is just the beginning of the event. But a lot going on out west. You guys know I don't get really detailed out west for you folks. Hopefully in the future maybe I can. But that's just a little bit too much for me right now with, doing this in my full-time job. But there is some exceptionally rare winter weather alerts up here in pretty low elevations out west. So it's pretty wild to see. Stay tuned to your local people out there for sure. But we've mentioned this the last few videos. What's going on is we'll do it one more time for you folks that have not seen it. You see all the white colors right here. That's high water content in the atmosphere. That's basically where our storm track is setting up. So all the energy is kind of flowing through here on up to here. So that's a really terrible arrow. So that's basically where our energy is going to go. You got an upper mid-level trough that's kind of digging down into here. This is going to help pick up this little swirl you see off the coast of southwest California that's been literally swirling down here for the last 48 hours. This little swirl right here, this will eventually move and get picked up this way and eventually kind of do this number right here and swing through there. Man, that is terrible. I'm trying this morning, guys. But with cold air up here in this area, and a little bit further south too, this piece of energy and then another piece of energy behind that will throw moisture over top of this cold air up here. This is going to cause a kind of multi-piece of energy event that's going to fly over cold air. It's going to create a monster winter storm for you folks up here. And then the potential for a severe weather threat somewhere potentially down here, and we'll see that. And then record-breaking warmth, warm air down here. So let's go on and get this off the screen really fast, and we'll keep rolling. Been trying to get a little bit more familiar with the little widget over there. But for today in the southeast areas, in the mid-south, even mid-Atlantic, we'll talk about what's going to happen. We got a little piece of energy that flies through. This will deliver rain for Kentucky throughout most of the morning. Areas of Tennessee also into western Virginia, southern sections of West Virginia. This is all liquid. As we're getting into about midday, this will start to make its way into the mid-Atlantic. Some shower activity this afternoon, Washington, D.C., the Delmarva area. Not a widespread rain, but just, there could be some pockets of heavy rain, though, in West Virginia. And then, maybe a rumble of thunder for you folks up here in eastern Kentucky, West Virginia. And then some storms try to form a little bit later this evening in eastern Tennessee, maybe western Virginia. Some heavier rain might move through the mountains overnight. Some heavier rain, like as in, it's not going to be just a light, dinging off your roof or anything. You guys could get woken up by some pretty heavy rain. And then this will drift potentially deeper into the Carolinas and North Georgia throughout the overnight hours. And then you're waking up tomorrow morning and most of the rain should be on off and dissipated at this point. So don't be surprised up here in this region. Definitely some widespread rains today. I'm not expecting a full-on washout with several inches of rain or anything, but definitely some accumulating rain, if you will. Northeast today, pretty quiet. Some rain showers, maybe some higher elevation snow showers to the interior Northeast this afternoon that you see up here. And then, we just talked about this down here. These will try to meet up. And then tomorrow, I think overnight, really starting tomorrow morning into the day tomorrow, could be an eventful day up here in the Northeast where snow will get very close to the I-95 corridor. In fact, you take it all the way out to around 3-4 o'clock in the morning tomorrow morning. You got a little bit of snow mixing in down here in southern New England. So wouldn't be surprised if you got a little snow flying around in southeast Mass and Rhode Island and Connecticut, maybe some portions of Long Island. And then waking up about 7 a.m., it's snowing all the way down here in Rhode Island, southeast Mass. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. And then this energy will fly through, connect with some energy down here, and we'll have a little bit of a storm system tomorrow. But this is just kind of round one. The bigger system comes from the Northeast a little bit later this week. South Central U.S., not a whole lot to hit on, guys. Pretty quiet weather. Not really much going on at all. But then we'll watch tomorrow and see what happens. In fact, we'll go on and take it throughout the entire run. We'll take it all the way out to, this is about the middle of the night tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. And here comes our pretty strong low pressure flying ahead. This will promote some severe weather into this region of the country. How bad will it be? Well, Storm Prediction Center says not as bad as what we were thinking. Up here in the north central U.S., we have a little clipper energy right here. It's snowing already in northern Minnesota and areas of North Dakota. This will continue. This first little round will start to move through northern Wisconsin later this morning into the western UP of Michigan a little bit later this morning. Then throughout the afternoon, these two pieces of energy will really connect. And it'll be snowing from northern Minnesota all the way to the UP of Michigan and also northern portions of Wisconsin also. And, this is for this evening. This will be some moderate to heavy snow falling. Maybe 1 inch per hour rates at certain points, but this will fly through very quick hitting snow. By the time you're waking up tomorrow morning, this will be pretty much done, and we'll be eyeing our next system. So there'll be a little bit of a break between these two systems, and then the next one comes. But this next wave will hit areas further south instead of north. So most of the northern terrain of Minnesota will get most of its snow from this system today. But snowfall between now and the next 24 hours, maybe a half a foot of snow is certainly possible in sections of northern Minnesota after, the entire storm is done. But you'll get some lake enhancement snow off the shoreline of Lake Superior in northeast Minnesota, where well over a half a foot of snow is likely. Then you'll get areas that get, maybe 6 to 10 inches of snow in certain areas in the UP of Michigan. Almost the entire UP of Michigan gets appreciable snow today. A few inches of snow expected in northern areas of Wisconsin. Seems like I've talked about this area up here all winter long, but it's cool because I picked up a lot of followers up from that region. That's really awesome to see. But let's talk about the severe weather threat. There's not much to talk on it, just a huge marginal risk. It was a slight risk at day 4 and day 5, but now just a marginal risk. So, luckily, this is downtrended. Now it could turn out an uptrend. A lot of times that happens. But for now, just a level 1 out of 5. That's not that big of a deal, guys. But we'll get a little bit detailed on this tonight. We'll be a little bit in range of some of these long-range cam models, short-range models. So we'll see how this is evolving. I still think we're going to have some damaging winds down here. But for now, this is downtrended, so that's good news. We'll briefly go through this very fast, and we'll get detailed again for you folks up here again tonight, so stay tuned. But we'll take a look at the latest Euro, and the Clipper leaves on off, and then more snow begins to move into, the Dakotas and Minnesota, for example. In Minneapolis, snow will be knocking on your door tomorrow afternoon, and then it's on. And then this little area of darker blue, that's around moderate snow falling. So moderate snow falling in the city. This will move into Wisconsin. We'll try to get heavier here in central to south central Wisconsin. This will bring some accumulating snow for areas like Milwaukee to Green Bay, probably late tomorrow night into Wednesday morning. This is the first round. This will move into Michigan, kind of dissipate, and then here comes the huge push of moisture to the south. This low pressure begins to develop, and this gets thrown over this boundary that you see right here. Ice begins to show up Wednesday afternoon, where the pink is and the orange. Pink is the freezing rain, orange is the sleet, and here it comes. You get a little lull between the first and second system, but then it really picks up, guys. And then this is when some nasty ice can set up. Chicago, man, you do not have to drive far west or north out the city limits to get into some nasty ice. But, this is around 8, 9 p.m. Wednesday night, full-on snowstorm moving back into Minneapolis. Heavy snow in far northern Iowa. Not going to break down every region, but, stop it if you need to. But this is an all-out ice storm taking over in southern Michigan and northern areas of Illinois and southern Wisconsin, even Iowa. And this looks pretty bad, especially right in the middle of the night, Wednesday night into Thursday morning. Heavy snow. We'll have to watch to see who gets the heaviest snow around Minnesota, which I think is going to be a big state for heavy snow, especially the southern half of the state. But look at all this ice in Iowa. Watch out, Des Moines. There's going to be a corridor of ice here. We're starting to get into the wee hours of the morning, Thursday morning. Just an all-out ice storm setting up. Look at Buffalo. Yeah. So, and then there's going to be one more push, and I would argue that this last push getting into Thursday morning will be the heaviest snow for Minneapolis. I really think at the beginning of the storm, you'll be all snow for areas like Milwaukee, certainly in Green Bay, but then you'll have some mixing issues in Milwaukee where you'll mix to a wintry mix sometime Thursday. One last really heavy push of snow Thursday for you folks up here in northern Wisconsin, the UP of Michigan, northern Michigan, and then this heads on off. So we'll go on and switch it to the northeast and see how this looks. And I knew it went to the 06Z. Same kind of deal, guys. Not much has changed. We'll watch this first little system. Let's deliver a few inches of snow for the interior northeast. But here comes the main system. Like I said, for you folks in Boston, if you're up in the middle of the night, Wednesday night, you could get a big-time front-end thump of snow in Boston, southern New England, just in general. Frontogenesis band can move through. This is all ice from Buffalo to Binghamton, everybody in between. Scranton mixing with some ice. Northern Pennsylvania, all freezing rain. And heavy thumping of snow, sleet for certain other areas. This continues, and we're just waking up Thursday morning to an all-out ice storm in southern sections of New York State. This is very heavy snow in northern New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire. But, ice begins to take over southern New England, especially just inland and mainly just inland. And here comes that low pressure moving in. Then we're getting to Thursday about midday, snowing like crazy here in the southern sections of Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, but still hanging on to frozen precipitation in Massachusetts, most of it except southeast areas, even hanging on to ice for Connecticut. And you continue to go through, and, areas like Boston flirt with the idea of staying frozen precipitation the entire storm. We're getting to Friday morning, and, it still shows everything but green down here in Boston. I know I'm saying Boston a lot, but that's a bigger city that's going to get impacted. But Buffalo, guys, I think you guys could, maybe start briefly as snow, but quickly go to sleet and all freezing rain with this system. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. Maine going to be another big storm, and then this heads on off, okay? And then there's some, the idea of maybe another system behind this for Sunday morning could deliver another shot of snow. We got some interesting times ahead to end February and start March, that's for sure. But snowfall totals, we'll fly through this very quickly, guys. South Dakota is going to be a big state, widespread 10 to 14 inch totals. This is the National Weather Service now. Only goes out to Thursday morning, so it's still snowing in some of these areas. Just between now and Thursday morning, they're going for, and it's still snowing. I want to remind you of that, but I want to start showing the National Weather Service forecast. It's still snowing, and they're already at 16, 17 inches in Minneapolis. But look at the southern half of Minnesota, foot to foot and a half snowfall totals showing up. We'll go to the upper Midwest, and like I said, just through Thursday morning, and you already have this much snow for these areas. But look at the ice. Okay, this is just through Thursday morning. I'm going to keep reiterating that. Look at these ice totals now from the National Weather Service showing up in Iowa. 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch of ice in this area of Iowa. Southern Wisconsin, 1/4 inch to a 1/2 inch of ice predicted. Same thing with the far northern bordering counties of Illinois. But look at this, 4/10 of an inch of ice in southern Wisconsin. And then look for you folks in southern Michigan. I expect this to go up. Widespread 1/4 inch, 3/10, 4/10 of an inch of ice for you folks in southern Michigan. This is ice storm. This is going to be an all-out ice storm for these sections, okay? And for you folks in the Northeast, I can only go out to Thursday morning because I really want to start to show the National Weather Service forecast. This is just through Thursday morning from all the systems, and they're going for an inch or so of snow in Boston, but there's going to be a lot of sleet mixing in this area right into here. A lot of freezing rain, but a lot of heavy snow to the north, and really, here's the freezing rain forecast. Binghamton going for a 1/4 inch of ice. Buffalo, same kind of deal. This section of southern New York State right into here is going to get hit pretty good with some nasty ice totals, okay? So go on and prepare for a nasty wintry mixed bag of precipitation down here. We'll get much more detailed tonight. I just realized I did not show the temperatures on this map, but warm day, widespread 60s and 70s for the south. And I'll certainly mention that again tonight about how warm it's going to get. That's all I got. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a great day, and I'll be with y'all this evening.